What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, July 25th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 17:19 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Europe and from the Middle East and Asia, and also from here in the United States. But before I get into that, I want to ask you guys a favor. If you could check out this GoFundMe, I'm going to leave a link in the comments down below. A contributor to this channel, his parents' home burnt to the ground. You guys might know who this person is. He goes by the name of Light Source Engraving. He's actually a moderator here, and he hooked me up with several items for the channel for free. Didn't ask me for anything in return. And so now I'm returning the favor. His parents' home burnt down. He lives in West Virginia and they need some money. So I'm going to leave a link to the GoFundMe in the description and in the comments down below. Thank you guys very, very much for all of your support on this. And also, I wanted to let you guys know that YouTube deleted the Culinary Night live stream and several other live streams from around that time. So what I've done is I've uploaded to my Rumble account the Culinary Night live stream. So you can go to my Rumble page, and that's rumble.com/NYPrepper. I go by the same name over there as I do here. So just NYPrepper on Rumble. I uploaded the Culinary Night stream there if you want to rewatch it and relive that crazy night when our nuclear forces were on the verge of doing something crazy. And I'm going to try to upload it to my website as well. I'm in the process of doing that, so it'll stay on my website permanently. So I want to just update you guys on the bird flu first. So the US and China are reporting 3 more human cases of the bird flu, and the UN is calling for urgent action. A woman who died in eastern China earlier this month was infected with H5N6 bird flu, and 2 more poultry workers in Colorado have tested positive for H5N1, according to local officials. A UN agency is calling for urgent action. In China, the latest case is a 70-year-old woman who went to a live poultry market in Hefei, Anhui province, before she developed symptoms on June 17th. She was hospitalized 2 days later and died on July the 8th, according to Chinese officials. The Chinese government often takes weeks or months to report human cases of bird flu. In the U.S., the Colorado Department of Public Health confirmed that 2 more workers at a poultry farm in Weld County had tested positive for H5N1, taking the total at this farm to 3. 6 other cases were reported at another poultry farm earlier this month, and 1 was confirmed at a dairy farm. Details about the symptoms of the new cases in Colorado were not immediately released. The CDC continues to state the risk of avian flu to the general public is low, the Colorado Health Department said in a statement. So far, we have not seen evidence of person-to-person transmission. Earlier on Thursday, the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, called for urgent efforts to combat the rise in avian influenza cases across the Asia-Pacific region, calling recent developments, quote-unquote, alarming. Much of the concern has focused on a new variant of H5N1, which has spread around the world and is causing infections in a growing number of mammals. 23 human cases have been reported so far this year, including 12 in the U.S., 7 in Cambodia, 1 in China, 1 in Vietnam, 1 in Australia. None of the U.S. cases were fatal. Now, I don't believe that there was just 1 case in China. Obviously, the Chinese government is hiding it. How is it that there were 12 cases in the U.S., but only 1 in China, when China has like billions of people? So, yeah, I don't believe that. But China is now officially reporting 1 person who was killed by the bird flu, 70-year-old woman, okay, and 2 more cases in Colorado, and the UN Food and Agriculture Organization calling for efforts to combat the rise of influenza from birds. Okay, so this is very, very concerning. And yesterday, the AMA, the American Medical Association, said that it was issuing codes to prepare for mRNA vaccines for the bird flu. So the US healthcare system can be prepared for vaccines for the bird flu. So that's very concerning. Last night, we had this pipe bomb that was placed in New York City. And the New York City Police Department is claiming that this was a result of a domestic dispute. I don't know if I believe that, but what's interesting is today a Democratic Congresswoman, Norma Torres, said she found white powder in her office. Okay, today interns and staff in my district office discovered a suspicious white powdery substance in two incoming letters addressed to my office. U.S. Capitol Police and local law enforcement have been informed. Hazmat teams are on site investigating the substance, and my staff are remaining in place until more information is found. No one is experiencing any symptoms at this time, and all normal operating precautions were observed, including the use of airtight equipment while opening the letters. However, out of an abundance of caution, my staff will be sheltering in place until local law enforcement determines the nature of the substance and will follow their guidance on the next best course of action. So, very strange situation. This election is going to be absolutely insane this year, and you can see what's going on. We have this bird flu now. We have these mysterious pipe bombs appearing and white powdery substances. So get prepared, guys. And we also have World War III about to break out. And yesterday, Russia launched drones at Ukraine on the border of Romania, and some of those drones actually crashed in Romania. Here we have some new video footage showing an empty area, no people in this area. This is in a forest somewhere where a drone from Russia crashed in Romania on the border of Ukraine, and the Romanian foreign minister confirmed today on Twitter that Russian drones did crash into Romania and that Romania was consulting allies about it. She wrote on Twitter, "More heinous attacks have been perpetrated by Russia against Ukrainian civilian infrastructure. Debris has been found on Romanian territory. We have informed and are coordinating with our allies on this matter. Romania strongly condemns these irresponsible actions." Okay, so this could potentially trigger Article 5. So you can clearly see here all these trees burnt, okay, by this massive attack drone. So thank God it didn't kill anybody, but who knows? I mean, the Romanian government could be hiding the truth to prevent, panic or something. I don't know. But the Romanian foreign minister confirming that debris has been found in Romania, Russian drone debris. Okay. And yesterday, Russian and Chinese nuclear bombers entered the Alaskan ADIZ at the same time. And here you can see the official press release from NORAD. It says NORAD detects, tracks, and intercepts Russian and PRC aircraft operating in the Alaskan ADIZ. And this is actually historic. Russia and China have never together flown their bombers into any ADIZ of the United States, an air defense zone. Okay. But yesterday they sent two Tupolev 95s. Those are the Russian Bear bombers, and two Chinese H-6 nuclear bombers, both going into the Alaskan ADIZ. And they were intercepted by American F-16s and F-35s and Canadian F-18s. Okay. But this is historic. The mainstream media is not talking about it. And also, for the first time, Chinese military aircraft entered the U.S. ADIZ, okay, which is historic. China has never sent their bombers into our ADIZ before. This is the first time. This update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you got to use the link preparewithnyprepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. But this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life. It includes over 2,000 calories per day, breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks, all contained within 6 rugged water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $200 off or 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply. The link is in the description below this video. Free shipping is included. They also have a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running various discounts. And to get to their general store, you just got to click on the My Patriot Supply logo when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com at the top of the page, and you'll see their general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running discounts here. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. And what's interesting is that the head of NORAD warned about this back in March, saying that China would start sending their aircraft into our air defense identification zones as soon as this year. So this is coming from March the 12th of this year. Okay, let me play this for you.
As China continues its goal to project power outside of its borders, what new developments have resulted from China's risky and aggressive intercepts of U.S. aircraft operating internationally that concern in regard to your primary mission to defend the homeland?
Congressman, fortunately, we haven't seen Chinese aircraft operate near our defense, air defense identification zones yet, but I think that that's coming as early as this year. That shows an overall concern I have about.
So you hear what he said?
Early as this year.
As early as this year.
That shows an overall concern I have about the growing capability of China, not only with the aircraft, as you just mentioned, but also with ships and even submarines being able to range further from China and closer to our shores.
Okay, so he's saying also ships and submarines, absolutely insane. And we had some very unusual activity over Poland last night. We had a NATO reconnaissance drone, an RQ-4D Phoenix, fly up into southeastern Poland, and then it turned its transponder off close to the Ukrainian border. But based on the direction it was going, it appears that it might have went into Ukraine. Okay, it disappeared right over here, just north of Przemysl, which is right on the border of Ukraine, and it was flying with its transponder off basically since then, because I didn't see it reappear anywhere. So very likely it flew into Ukraine, because normally when they fly in Poland, they keep their transponders on. And then we also had this interesting flight from Russia, from Krasnodar, a Russian Ministry for Emergency Situations plane flew to Belarus. And what's interesting is it actually flew over Ukraine. It flew over eastern Ukraine. It actually flew right over Kharkiv and over the Sumy region without getting shot down or anything by Ukraine, which is very strange. And then it landed near Minsk, the capital of Belarus. This is a Ministry for Emergency Situations plane. Okay, so, and at the same time or shortly after, we had all this reconnaissance over Poland. Okay, you can see 6 reconnaissance planes flying over Poland simultaneously right around the time that Russian emergency situations plane went to Belarus. And we know that Chinese paratroopers have been training with Belarusian forces on the border of Poland in southwestern Belarus. They just recently practiced capturing an airport together. So here you can see a French reconnaissance plane, a Swedish reconnaissance plane, a NATO AWACS plane, a German reconnaissance plane, and 2 Polish reconnaissance planes. So this is just ridiculous. I've never seen this before, guys. So here you can see the French reconnaissance plane going all around Kaliningrad. It took off from Sauli, Lithuania, and it flew through the Suwałki Gap, and it was flying along the Polish-Russian border here, and then it flew all around Kaliningrad. And then there was this German reconnaissance plane doing loops here on the border of Kaliningrad, and then there was a Swedish reconnaissance plane and a NATO AWACS, a Polish AWACS, and then a Polish border guard plane, all up here in northern Poland. This is the first time I've ever seen a German and a French reconnaissance plane patrolling this area here. So something's going on. And with that emergency situations plane going to Belarus, it makes me wonder if they're getting ready to attack Poland or something. We also had some refuelers active over Poland. We had a NATO MRTT plane, and then we also had a German aerial refueler. These could also be reconnaissance planes as well. Okay, so this is very, very concerning. And Poland's foreign minister said that Ukraine should be allowed to use Western long-range weapons to strike Russian airfields and bombers in the air getting ready to launch on Ukraine. And he was specifically talking about the Children's Cancer Hospital that was hit by a missile like 2 weeks ago. He was saying that if the West allowed Ukraine to use long-range cruise missiles, then that would have never happened because Ukraine could have destroyed the bombers or the airfields that those bombers were taking off from. But this is a huge statement here from the Polish foreign minister. Okay, he says here on the use of long-range weapons so that Ukraine can prevent such attacks in the future by targeting military aircraft launching cruise missiles, as well as the airfields that they use. I believe that it would by all means constitute self-defense, which is allowed by international law. So he's saying they should be allowed to strike the airfields and the bombers themselves, okay? So that is absolutely huge. We also had this flight from Russia to China last night. A Russian VIP plane went to China, and Ukrainian police detained a group of Russian agents that were planning to set fire to several commercial facilities in Poland and the Baltic countries. And apparently, they also received an order to set fire to one of the humanitarian aid centers for Ukraine located on Polish territory. And the president of Belarus, Lukashenko, is in the Kremlin now visiting with Putin. Okay, so very concerning that Lukashenko would suddenly go to the Kremlin. We also know that Bashar al-Assad is at the Kremlin now as well, the president of Syria. And apparently more Russian warships are going to be arriving in Cuba. Ships of the Russian Baltic Fleet will visit the port of Havana on July 27th through the 30th. That's this weekend, the Cuban Ministry of Defense announced. And this comes just a few weeks after the Russian Northern Fleet sent ships into Cuba. And I think they're still around the area. And North Korea's top diplomat met with her visiting counterpart from Belarus and discussed regional and international situations. North Korea's state media reported on Thursday, amid speculation that the nations would strengthen trilateral cooperation with Russia. So, very concerning. Belarus now sending their foreign minister to North Korea. Okay, so this is very, very concerning. And the Spanish Ministry of Defense just announced that Spain will supply another Hawk medium range surface to air missile battery to Ukraine. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said Germany will continue sending weapons to Israel, stating that Germany will not stop arms exports to Israel. We will continue to provide her with the weapons she needs. The German government opposes calls to boycott Israeli products. I find these demands disgusting. Wow, strong words from Olaf Scholz. And we're hearing reports that Iran provided Hezbollah with advanced bombs, including EMP bombs capable of disrupting communication and radar. Okay, so Iran has given Hezbollah EMP weapons. This is coming from Arabian News. 3 Chinese students are under investigation by South Korean police for allegedly using a drone to illegally photograph the USS Teddy Roosevelt, a U.S. aircraft carrier docked at the port in Busan in South Korea. Wow. So here's the actual video footage that this Chinese, or these 3 Chinese students, took of the U.S. aircraft carrier, the Teddy Roosevelt. Okay, these were clearly spies that were trying to get info on what kind of capabilities the U.S. has in South Korea. Okay, you can see all the fighter jets there. You can see the E-2s, the Hawkeye planes that are mini radar planes. Look at all the fighter jets that thing has. So this Teddy Roosevelt came loaded, fully loaded for war. And an Italian Air Force Eurofighter Typhoon apparently crashed in Australia as part of the ongoing pitch black exercises. Apparently, the pilot ejected successfully. And we're hearing that the B 2 stealth bombers have just received a technology upgrade. And apparently, this is going to allow them to have more secure communications and also to be able to deliver B-61 nuclear gravity bombs without GPS being available. Also, it's going to allow the B-2s to use the JSAM-ER cruise missiles. So that's a huge sign that the U.S. is preparing for war with Russia, actually, because those are conventional missiles that would be very useful in a conflict over Ukraine or over South Korea. And Typhoon Gemi made landfall on Taiwan around midnight Wednesday on the northeastern coast of Taiwan in Yilin County. It is the strongest typhoon to hit the island in 8 years and was packing gusts of up to 141 miles per hour before weakening, according to the Taiwan Central Weather Administration. 2 people were killed and a freight ship sunk. So very powerful typhoon in Taiwan. Look what Bernie Sanders posted on his Twitter account. He said, Netanyahu is not only a war criminal, he is a liar. All humanitarian organizations agree tens of thousands of children face starvation because his extremist government continues to block aid. Israelis want him out of office, so he came to Congress to campaign. Wow. Absolutely insane. And Bernie Sanders is actually Jewish, and he's anti-Israel, essentially. This is just crazy, guys. Calling Netanyahu a war criminal, just totally insane. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back later on tonight with more breaking news. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon down below so you get notified when I post these updates. Also, all of my updates are posted on Telegram and Twitter. You can follow me there. The links are in the description below this video. Also on my website, NYPrepper.com, I post all of my videos there from YouTube as well. They're automatically posted there. So until later on, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere. Culinary out.